What's up, traders? Andrew here with another daily review. It is Tuesday, April 23rd, and I want to go over how the day went. As you can see, I have my calendar up here behind me. $660 on the day, 5 trades. That is on the Top Step 50K account. We are going to get to some other stuff in just a few minutes, but first, let's go over the 5 trades that I had on this account. So starting off, we have the ES. Took this short after the open. This yellow line right here is last week's high VWAP, and it was a point of resistance yesterday. So I saw it as being something that could be a catalyst for, a resistance today. So as soon as we got up to that point, it wasn't the strongest break of that level. So I took it short, scalped a little bit of money on the downside of that, closed out quickly. Then we got our news push, and then a lot of consolidation in there. We throw on the high of day anchor. I should have been long in between these 2 candles, which most of the group got in long at that point in time. I did not, unfortunately. So I ended up chasing this a little bit. My price was a little bit higher. I got in on the close of this candle at this price, added a contract on this pullback, just kind of looking at this as like, all right, we're filling everything back. It's filling some of these gaps back in, coming back to touch this high of day anchor, this previous high of day anchor here. Well, I end up enduring some drawdown. And now, had I gotten the right price, I probably wouldn't have sat through any of that drawdown, right? So I would have been managing this a little bit better. But instead, because I have the worst price and I'm sitting in this in a little bit of a different fashion than the rest of the group, I'm now looking at what's going to be my exit strategy, which once we broke this prior high of day here, when it bounced back up and touched it again, I closed one contract. And then when it didn't break all the way back above the current high of day anchor, I closed the trade out entirely. Well, don't you know, the next candle pushes back above. Now I'm getting back into the trade. This is the price that I got in. Now I am back again. I'm chasing this, but because my price is now also a little bit worse than it was previously, because actually this doesn't quite match up. Because my price is a little bit worse than it was previously, I'm still on defense. So I close a contract once we get back up to this high of day area. So right at the tippy top, I actually do close one contract. I have one contract remaining on the trade, and I trail the stop. Now I trail the stop aggressively up to my break even spot, because the last thing I really want is to, you're up 300 at that high spot. You could just take the 300 and run, but you want to trail the stop. You want to stay in the trade a little bit longer, leave a contract on. Maybe you can squeeze a little bit more out of it, right? Like, who doesn't want to do that? Unfortunately, my price wasn't at the best spot, and I hate when the trade comes back and I put my stop to break even. Structure would make sense, but if I leave it at structure and then it comes back and taps me out, now that $150 that I won, let's say, is now going to turn into like $75, because now I'm gonna lose some of that on that pullback. So I'd rather just sit in and know that I'm going to end it with $150 and not have to give any of that back. You kind of hope that it's not going to come back to your entry. Unfortunately, this does. I get tapped out literally on the tick before it turns around and goes the other way. How unfortunate, because it was bullish the rest of the day. Could you imagine trailing this spot 50.83? Where do we end the day at? Let's have a look. Whoa. Let's have a little look-see. Where were we? I said 50.83. We were right in here, right? Yeah. Okay. Wow, look at that. We ended the day at 112. 50.83. Let's just find that real quick. About there. So, you mean 12 points. Now my stop was about here, so it's about 3.2 R, but that's 12.75 points that was left on the table, just trailing the stops. Now, I probably would have trailed the stop at some point. I might have been thinking about closing somewhere in here once we got to this spot, because if I trail the stop here, we're getting stopped out here anyway. So I probably wouldn't definitely not have been in this trade that long, but still, it just goes to show you, had I gotten the right price, then it makes trailing the stop that much easier. So it's on me for having not been in the trade and being convicted on buying here. When we get this close initially above the high of day, I had to endure a lot more drawdown than I really anticipated, and then just it led to poor decision. Happens to the best of us, right? Maybe not. who knows? Anyway, next trade, I took this short on this. We're moving on to NASDAQ. Those were just the ES shorts. Now I moved on to NASDAQ. We've got this high of day anchor and a prior high of day here. So when I see it starting to find resistance on the high of day and it breaks this prior high, now I'm looking at shorts as being a possibility back down into this, maybe even just like getting back to the bottom of this candle. I didn't eke out every aspect of this because I closed it when it pulled back here. We kind of got this like slight bullish engulfing candle here. So I closed at this point, pulled that trade, scalped a little bit of money, flipped the bias. When we broke back above, took this long. That's probably the cleanest trade that I've had all day right there. Buying on the initial break of the high of day, getting that proper stop loss in, which actually I didn't draw it right, but it's at the bottom of this candle, and then just kind of sitting in this as it pushes back up. Now, I pulled the trade when I knew that this 17.6 number was a pretty big point of contention for most of the day. So I knew that once we kind of broke above that, I knew that longs were kind of in play, but I didn't really want to sit into that long. So I closed it out here. As you can see, just very choppy. I was fortunate to kind of make any money at all, as we're just like super choppy at this point of the day. So, and then the last trade I had came right before noon, another short. Oh, wait, this is the same short. That's the same short. Yeah, no, that's not the right short. That was the short. All right, so those are the trades that I had on the day. So as you can see, $660, not bad. Let's get into the mess that is my funded futures 100K. So I have a bunch of these 100K accounts sitting and waiting because my funded FX is running a deal right now where they're 50, 100K, and 250K or 150K, excuse me, are all $50 with their code Frenzy. So I picked up a bunch of these, and then last night I decided that I was just going to throw a long on, because I just felt like we were going to come back and get back up to yesterday's high today, which we did eventually. So last night during the Asian session, I threw one contract on with the stop at that low and held on to it. Woke up this morning for a nice little chunk of profit and could have actually held on to that for the whole day. But that also led to 39 more trades on the day. And as you can see, I've got this 825, and then now we're off to the races, right? We're in and out in all sorts of different directions. Long was the play, right? Buyers were pretty much in control. We did nothing but make higher highs and higher lows all day. So really you could have just continued to long. Couple of moments of consolidation, but still longs were the play. Somehow I'm getting in on these short several times. Did I lose all my losses? No, not all my losses, but the chunk of my losses all came when I tried shorting the market. Why do I continue to fight this? Why do I continue to fight the trend? Now I did make some money short, but still, that's besides the point. Most of my biggest losses came when I tried to short the market. All three of them. Boom, boom, boom. I have a big issue right now with this overtrading nonsense, right? So like, let's look at this drop down again. I've had several accounts and I've blown all of them, and most of them have all been losses in terms of overtrading or just kind of eating them because CFDs were kind of on the outs, and futures was going to be the way of the future. So yeah, I've had my issues with overtrading in the past, and I continue to talk about overtrading being an issue for me right now. I've been getting leaned into by the coaches in the Black Shirt Club, and we've had not leaned into, but we've been having a lot of conversations around where does this issue stem from? Why am I not able to get it in control? And the only reason why I see it not being able to find any control over this is because I am continuously finding some success with this. Now, I don't know if I'm still forcing the trades like this, if I'm over trading like this because I just desperately want to pass a challenge. And the only way to do that is to get in there and trade, right? But it's just, I'm a broken record when I say this. Be professional, right? Like just the way that I'm doing this right now is not in a professional fashion, and there's a slight lack of edge to this, even though clearly, I'm figuring some things out. Today was a really good trending day that I can make money on. A day where we're choppy, I mean, it might not look like this. But the conversations that we've been having kind of have revolved around, like, are you going to continue to trade this way after you do pass? Because if you do, do you anticipate this actually working long term? No, I don't. And we're kind of talking out both sides of our mouth with this, right? Where it's like, you need to be aggressive. You need to be trying to find a way to pass a challenge. You can't be just sitting here for 3 months in a challenge in hopes that eventually it will happen, and like all these ups and downs. But at the same time, you can't just be YOLOing every single trade, putting 5-10 contracts onto a trade and trying to pass in one fell swoop. So it's trying to find this happy medium. And unfortunately, what I'm doing right now hasn't exactly burned my ass to the point where I am, afraid to continue to click the button. Whereas in the past, I would get burned hard as hell and be in massive drawdown, and then I'd be like, well, now shit, like I got to find a way to get out of this now. And the only way for me to do that is to kind of, dial it back, go back to my trades, look at what I did right, look at what I did wrong, and remove the wrong, add more of the right. All that being said, this is a 100K account, so I am $1,900 away. I am potentially 2-ish, 3-ish trades away, 3 good trades away from passing this. So, oh my God, it makes my brain hurt. Like, my brain already hurts enough from trying to figure out like what I'm doing in these spaces, and then isn't trading fun? This is fun, isn't it? I'm having fun. Can't wait to wake up tomorrow and do it again. I don't know, man. If you're watching this, seriously, just leave me some comments, lay out some thoughts for me, give me some wisdom, because if you've been in this position before, I want to know about it. How did you get out of it? What changed going forward? Did you make a change? Are you still doing this? Have you passed the challenge? I mean, who else out there is dealing with what I'm going through right now? Again, like, look at this. Like, just one real quick minute. Let's have a look at the accounts that I'm actually working with, and look at all the trades. Started out the month fine. 2, 1, 7, kind of a lot. 5, respectable. Okay. 2, 10. Okay. 21. Yikes. 4, 6, 28, 6, 9, 16, 33. And like, this day is like the one that really irks the hell out of me, because it's like I was up $3,000, and then I gave it all back. I gave it back and then some, and had to clamor it back. Seriously, if you've gone through this and you're dealing with this right now, or trying to find a way through this, I want to hear about it. I want to know about it. Leave a comment section. Group therapy. Let's fix this shit. Let's find a true solution to this that can be applicable to all those involved, right? So, well, that's my Tuesday. I'll see you tomorrow. Hump day. And if you're wondering what my thoughts are for tomorrow, I'm pretty bearish, because if we just go to the daily real quick, which I have the EMAs, I've got the 8 and the 21 on this guy. You know what? Then again, I'm gonna have a hard time with tomorrow, because I can see this pulling back and touching this 21 EMA. We've also got the all-time high VWAP up here. This is a start of year VWAP. I mean, there's a lot of things that can pull this back up into these zones, so that we could be looking at more bullish momentum tomorrow. But I also really wouldn't be surprised if we continued to rip back down below. Yeah, no, we're not going to forecast, but we will read and react. We'll come up with a plan tomorrow, and we'll attack, or we'll find a way to stay flat. Yeah, right. Ha, 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 ha. Thanks for listening. Please like this if you enjoyed it. And seriously, if you're dealing with these issues, I genuinely, I want to know. I want to talk about it. I want to hear what you have to say. So hit me up in the comments section, and let's have a chat. All right. Thanks for watching. Catch you tomorrow.